Now that we've created our iPod, we're going to render it to make it look very realistic. Before we go on to do that, we need to first of all get rid of a couple of the things that are on the screen that are getting in the way of our iPod. We don't want to see this front, right, default, and this spin center. To do that, we're going to have to click on a few of the icons on the top toolbar here. This one's the first one, the spin center. We're going to click on that. Let's turn that off. And these three icons here need turned off too. So just click on them to turn these off. Now on our screen, the only thing we can see is our iPod. So this means that when we come to render it, it'll look as realistic as possible. To render this, and by that we mean to add colour to it, as well as having a bit of shade to it, we're going to have to go to the View pull down menu and click on Colour and Appearance. Once you've done that, this Appearance editor will appear on the right hand side of the screen. There are some colours already preloaded, but it's more than likely you want to make your own colour. To do that, make sure that the Ref 1 is selected and click on the plus sign. What we can do now is change the colour by clicking down here on Colour. And if you don't see a colour wheel here, then click on Colour Wheel. You can drag this little plus sign, this cross, to any colour you like, and you'll see the colour change up here in the top. When you have selected a colour that you want to make your iPod, I think that will do for me, say Close. Now, I want to make the entire iPod here this purple colour. Now remember, this is called a part drawing. So in the assignment menu here, it's saying to us that we're going to colour the entire part, and it's going to be this purple colour. So I'm going to click Apply, and you'll see the entire iPod now has been coloured this purple. I don't want the screen to be purple, because it should be this LCD screen, and I want to make it look as though it's an LCD screen. We can do that. First of all, I'm going to go back to this Ref Colour 1 and click on the plus sign to create a new colour, and come down to Colour. And here I'm going to select a colour that I think's best suited to the screen. The screen on the iPod, I suppose, is a kind of greyish colour when there's nothing on it, so I think I'll just go with that. I'll click Close next, and then to make the screen itself, well, you can't click on this part and apply, because it'll just change the entire thing to this grey colour. So I want to click on this menu here where it says Part and select Surfaces. Now I need to select the surface I want, and it's just the screen, so when you can see that the rectangle here has turned this light blue colour, select, and you'll see that that individual surface is there, has been selected, and it's highlighted as being its pink. And what I'm going to do now is select the OK from the select here, and then click Apply. And that has changed the colour of the screen to this grey colour, the way I want it, and it's left here the rest of the iPod purple. I'm now happy with the colour of the iPod, so I'm going to click Close at the bottom here. And now I'm going to start to turn the iPod, so I'm looking at it at a slightly different angle that I'm going to use in my poster, because we're going to put this iPod into a poster in Publisher. So I'm going to turn it so that it's in the exact position that I want the iPod to be in the poster. I think that's quite a good view for what I need. So I'm going to leave it there. You'll notice that I clicked on the refit button to bring it back to the centre of the screen, because that makes it ideal. Now, one further thing I want to do, I'm going to change the lights on this. I'm going to add some lights and make it look a little bit more realistic. To do that, I've gone to the View drop-down menu, the Model Setup, and Lights. It'll bring up this different types of lights you can use. We've got a light bulb, a spotlight, a distant light, and a skylight. First of all, I'm going to choose the light bulb. Now you can see that at the top right hand corner here I've got this light bulb, and you can already see the fact that it's made the iPod a little bit brighter. Now to make it a little bit clearer, I'm going to zoom out a little bit like this, and this means I can grab the light bulb and drag it to any sort of position that I'd like. I'd like to highlight the fact that the front of the iPod has this detail, and maybe just lighten up the front of it slightly. So you can change a few of the details with the type of light you have. The first thing you can change on here is the colour of the light. By changing the colour of the light, you can change the effect that the light has on the iPod. You can just simply make it a little bit softer, or you can go for a really deep colour, and you can see the different types of effects that's having on the iPod there. When you find something that you quite like, select that as the colour of light you want, and then click close. Another thing you can do is you can have shadows cast, and you can change the harshness or softness of those shadows. You can change the intensity, that's the brightness of the light, by sliding this up and down. The higher the figure here, the brighter the light. Sometimes having it too bright is not brilliant, so I'm going to take it down. And also, if you want to be very accurate with the position, you can change the position of it slightly by rolling any of these options here. When you're happy with the settings for that light, you can either click close, or you can add another light. I think this time I'll add a spotlight, and I'll show you what that one looks like. This one is a little bit more bright, I suppose. You can change the spotlight in a number of ways. You can make it a bit more focused. You can change the position of it. You can change the spot where it's aimed at. You can again change its position more accurately by rolling it here. You can also, with the spotlight, change its aim location here too. Again, you can change the brightness of it. You can cause shadows to be cast. And again, if you'd like, you can change the colour of the light. You can add as many lights as you like. Be careful about adding too many, because it'll start to cancel each other out and it won't have the greatest of effects. I'm going to leave it at that and say close. Now my iPod, again, it's a little bit further away, so I'm going to bring it closer by using the refit button to me, because I think that's a better view. Now we're almost ready to take our iPod into Publisher to start creating our poster, but with one last thing we need to do. We need to change this background colour from being a gradient colour to just being one solid colour. To do that, we need to go to the View drop-down menu, Display Settings, and System Colours. You'll see the very bottom, and you should change the colour of your background to a colour which is nowhere on your iPod. In this case, a green colour is not used in my iPod, so I'm going to use a green for the background. You use a colour for your background which you've not used on your iPod. You'll find out the importance of that in a couple of minutes. Once you've done that, click OK, And so what we're going to do to do this is we're going to click. What we're going to do this is we're going to press the print screen button on our keyboard. You'll find that button on the very top row of keys. Once you've found it, press it. Once you've found the print screen button, press it. And don't worry if it doesn't look like anything's happened. What it has done is it's copied that entire screen you can see on your monitor onto the clipboard of the computer. And what we're going to do now is open up Publisher. Make sure you click first of all on the blank publication on the left hand side. And you can leave it as a portrait if you like. I'm going to change it to landscape because for my idea it's going to be better. And click File, Page Setup, and then Landscape. OK to take those changes to here. And now we're going to paste the screen grab that we did by pushing the print screen button into Publisher. To do that, right click on the mouse and click Paste. You can see now that the entire screen that we had before has pasted into Publisher. We don't particularly want to have all this stuff around the edges of it, or this green background for that. We just want to have our iPod. We can do that, and I'll show you how. First of all, zoom out a touch so you can see the entire frame there. Then click on your picture frame. So that's on the frame that contains the iPod. You should see a menu appear either on top of your iPod here, or at the top of your screen up around, maybe somewhere around here. If you don't see this menu here, go to the View pull down menu, Toolbars, and make sure that the picture option is selected. If it is selected, you'll see a little tick beside it. Once you can see this toolbar, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this command here called crop. So click on the crop command and you'll see that the corners of this frame have changed slightly. What we're going to do is we're going to grab one by the corner and drag it down around the iPod, and you'll see that all the stuff there has disappeared. We're going to do the same from the other side. Now, stake to show you how to fix it if you do it. If I've taken it too far here, and if you do the same, then don't panic. Just grab the side and drag it out. You can see that your iPod's still there, it's just that the surroundings have been hidden for the time being. Now, the last thing we need to get rid of here is this green background. To do that, we're going to use this toolbar again, and this time we're going to use this Set Transparent Color option. So click on that, and then come down and click on the background that you have. That'll make it completely disappear, and you'll be left with only your iPod. Once you've got to this stage, make sure you click the File, Save As, and save this as your iPod poster. We're now ready to start to finalise all the other parts of this poster. If you open up the video